people still imprisoned in Guantanamo. They are expanding the Bagram prison in Afghanistan with millions of dollars because this war is expected to expand, and we say no. And people in this country have to wake up and say no. If you are not outraged, you are simply not paying attention.
Not another year, not another day. Shut down the prison at Guantanamo Bay. Not another year.
Not another day.
Shut down the prison at Bybee. Not another year. Not another day.
Somebody asked us why we have the Obaminator here today, and he's here because Bush's indefinite detention was bad, but Obama's preventive detention is worse. Under Bush, they created a framework of so-called law that said if you were suspected of having done something, even if you could not be convicted in a criminal court, they could detain you. But now, what Obama announced last week is they don't have to suspect that you already did anything. You just have to be considered dangerous because you might do something. If you saw the movie Minority Report, this is the Department of Pre-Crime. You are suspected, you get detained, you're locked up, you have no rights, and it's limitless. It could go on, according to Obama, for many years. These boards here are the new Bybee Museum of Torture.
Techniques that you can see in these pictures, but many more, even more brutal techniques. Raping teenagers. Sodomizing little kids. These are the techniques, even more brutal than what we've seen before. These are the photos that Obama says will embolden our enemies, will foment anti-American sentiment. Well, duh, of course it'll foment anti-American sentiment, and we should be anti-American too if that's what our government is doing.
This is not the change that people were hoping for.
Bush and Obama, the torture stays the same. Military commissions. Bush and Obama, the torture stays the same. Preventive detention.
Not in our day.
All of these crimes were set up and prescribed by Judge Bybee. Lindy England carried it out. She put the prisoner on the leash.
Wrapping villages in barbed wire.
War crimes, war crimes.
Collective punishment.
War crimes, war crimes.
Bybee organized this, put it into law. He sits in there on the federal bench.
War crimes, war crimes.
1 million Iraqis dead.
War crimes, war crimes.
White phosphorus.
War crimes, war crimes.
Depleted uranium.
War crimes, war crimes.
Collective punishment.
War crimes, war crimes.
Cutting off food supplies.
War crimes, war crimes.
Torture.
War crimes, war crimes.
Secret CIA prisons.
War crimes, war crimes.
Depleted uranium.
War crimes, war crimes.
Guantanamo Bay.
War crimes, war crimes.
Abu Ghraib.
War crimes, war crimes.
CIA renditions.
War crimes, war crimes.
We say as long as there's a torture judge on the bench of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, every decision that comes out of that court is tainted.
Everyone that's getting around to sign up on the World Can't Wait email list so that you can find out more about how to get involved. And we have some other speakers coming up. Let's send them.
Ann Wiles has been working on civil liberties, civil rights cases, and she's here today because she's with the National Lawyers Guild, and they are bringing charges against Judge Bybee inside his own court system, inside the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. So this is Ann Wiles from Oakland. Please welcome her.
Good afternoon. This is in many ways a very sad day for us who are old radicals in this society to think that our country is throwing away 200 years of our Constitution under George W. Bush, Dick Cheney, David Addington, the list of lawyers that you're probably familiar with, including our local John Yoo. Bybee has committed crimes through his memos that are outrageous, that are extraordinary. They have a theory within these memos videos by John Yoo and Bybee that say that the United States is run by a king, that the executive branch of the United States can make any decision it wants. It can go anywhere, do anything, torture anyone, and they're overthrowing, 200 years of our Constitution. This is extremism. The fact that this was governing the United States makes it seem like it was okay. No, this is an extremist view, an ideological view that is not found current in this society for hundreds of years. This is extremely dangerous. And the fact that Obama is holding back in terms of wanting to prosecute these people, we have to have accountability. We can continue to have torture, we continue to violate our own laws, unless we have a system of government that in fact abides by law. Bybee was responsible for the murder of people in Bagram Air Force Base, Guantanamo, and Abu Ghraib in Iraq. And it is continuing. It is still this incredibly secret, sort of invisible, opaque set of conditions in terms of how our prisoners are being, the prisoners that they're picking up in Afghanistan, they're still being sent to third countries. The fact that the Europeans, like Obama, in many ways, they're allowing renditions to continue to happen in the international community.
Next up, we have Sharon Adams of the National Lawyers Guild.
Hello. First of all, I just want to say thank you to everyone for being here, for being out here and showing your opposition to torture. I want to talk today about Bybee, who is sitting as a federal judge in the 9th Circuit. He was handed that job after he did what the Bush administration wanted from him. It was his reward for writing torture memos. He justified the torture for them. Bush nominated him to the bench and the Senate confirmed him, and he sits there now. Bybee's torture memos have two fundamental truths that are held by him and by all people in the neocon movement. And these two fundamental truths are this. One, might makes right. And number two, American lives are more important and more valuable than the lives of the other people on this planet. The statute that Bybee interpreted talks about pain or suffering. 3 words, pain or suffering. Bybee, in his infinite wisdom, conflated that to read pain and suffering. So that if you're just experiencing pain, even though it's in the statute, that doesn't qualify as torture. You have to have pain and suffering. He misread the word or right out of the statute, and he read in the word and. Now, he's a judge. He's supposed to be able to read. He's supposed to be able to interpret the law. When Bybee wrote the memo that has this stuff in it, when he wrote that memo and the other torture memos were also being written, what was happening? Let's go back in time, summer 2002. We were searching for weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, but we were not finding them. We were searching for evidence to show a link between Iraq and 9/11, but we were not finding that. You know what they did? They tortured people! They tortured them to get that evidence! They couldn't get the evidence from real, so they tortured people! And you know what? People lie under torture. They'll say whatever you want.